A very warm welcome and good evening to you tuned into Smart 24 TV. Thank you.
For so long, the pension system in Uganda has been marred in problems such as late receiving of the money, ghost pensioners, and some pensioners totally failing to receive their pension money, which government has totally failed to address. While appearing before the Committee of Public Service, the Minister in charge of Public Service, Honorable Muroli Mukasa, has assured the country that issues surrounding pension scheme will be history with this new bill in place.
Now, this bill is very, very important and crucial for the public servant, in that it is going to bring about a transformation, a revolution from the current arrangement, which is pay-go. In other words, government puts aside money to pay the civil servants. If it has the money, it pays them. If it doesn't have, they are told to wait, you see. But eventually, actually, they will pay, but maybe over a long time and after a lot of frustration. Now, this one we are proposing is a defined benefit. In other words, the government has an obligation to pay every month a certain amount of money. In fact, it's about 10% or so. And then the worker also pays a certain amount of money, maybe 5%. Now, this money is given, put into a fund which is managed professionally. The fund is also given some opportunity of investing this money so that there is more money created, and that means that there is a bigger benefit for the pensioner. That's one. The other one is that over time, the government worries for pension will reduce, in that this fund will eventually grow and become virtually self-sustaining.
According to the minister, the bill also addresses the issue of mid-term access for pensioners, just like what NSSF is doing currently.
Immediately you retire, you start enjoying your pension benefits. And we're also trying to see in the law whether it can be possible to access part of these pension savings, mid-term or something.
When asked about the issue of disparity in salaries of public servants, Honorable Muroli says it is impossible for all people to get the same salary depending on their different job descriptions. The minister adds that government started increasing salaries of teachers in 2018-2019, and it's still an ongoing process depending on the availability of the funds.
I think sometimes people take it literally that we want everybody should be earning the same salary. This is not possible. Why? Because the jobs that people perform require different skills and there are different risks involved in them. Now, all these have to be taken into account in remuneration. So there will be differences. However, in 2018-19, we worked on the pay policy, and we agreed that there should be a compression ratio from the lowest to the highest, and that was accepted by Cabinet, and we even, I think, mentioned it here in Parliament. Now, we are working upon that. We have not changed it. But what appears now to be disparity is that the way we chose to pay the public servants in phases and the way we selected certain cadres to be paid first and also paid up to some of them up to the minimum, at the maximum, others almost 3/4. So that's what brings a disparity. So, but we're saying that overall, when the money is available, everybody will get the pay that is commensurate with what he's doing.
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel. So visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasan Hotels, luxury redefined.
This holiday season, we wish you the freedom to enjoy all your football. We wish you fun and lots of Ugandan entertainment. We wish you a good time together, so turn up the volume on your favorite show and be merry all day long. We wish you laughter everywhere in the hall. We wish you and your loved ones a very DSTV holiday. Stay connected to DSTV family at only 64,000 shillings and light up your festive season. DSTV Uganda. It's your moment.
Smart 24, driving business.
I apologize to you watching Smart 24 TV for that inconvenience and that technical glitch. But of course, still talking matters of streamlining the pension scheme. Samla Anifa,
Yeah.
please bring us up to speed about what the Minister of Public Service was saying.
Yeah, according to the Minister, Muruli Mukasa, they are preparing, and in a few weeks to come, they are going to table it before Parliament. This pension, it's called pension fund bill. They want to introduce a fund for pensioners, just like what NSSF is doing right now. But this one is specifically for pensioners. You know,
so specifically for government workers, right?
Public servants.
Public servants.
Public servants.
Yes. With the current act that is there, for a pensioner to receive your money, it can take you like 15 years without receiving his money.
I've also had some complaints from different people from the villages.
Yeah.
They walk from their own districts, coming to Kampala, come to public service office there to find out their pension. And I think this thing will, like you're saying, it's going to streamline the whole system.
But ministries have departments of public service. That is why it should be streamlined instead of someone. Maybe if they refer them to the Kampala office.
They always come to Kampala office.
They come to
Public
Kampala,
service.
obviously.
But then that is too much.
It is too much.
They ban their own transport.
Not only to the offices. These people have been coming to Parliament committees, crying out, we've not received our
more
pension.
about this bill, if after being okay, like this fund,
Yes.
there will be some money and they will be lending out some money.
Yeah. Government first it will start with government. Government will put aside some money, which money will be invested, and the money will accumulate. And they want to make it mandatory for pensioners to be receiving their money monthly, not this system of them waiting. Because right now, for pensioners to receive money, it depends on the availability of money in government. If government does not have money, you're not going to receive your pension. That's what the minister said. It is not up to them. It is the availability of money. So they did studies in Africa, in some countries in Africa, in Ghana, in South Africa. He told us a few countries where they visited, and they saw this pension fund working. Actually, those countries' pension fund, it is a standalone. Government does not even support it.
It is people who the investor, people invest that money and then bring back the money, and then the money keeps accumulating. Pensioners keep receiving their money every month. Here, government, when the current act was put in place, they estimated that in about 15 years, if you've reached the retirement age, in 1 to 15, you'll be dead. But now people are living. People live up to 100.
That is an informed decision just based on hypothesis. But maybe looking at the pension sector, and as wide this discussion up, the entire pension sector is facing challenges, continuous challenges that have to do with governance, compliance, and inclusiveness, especially the fact that the majority of the Ugandans or employable Ugandans are under the informal sector. But let's now look at the deepest challenges within the pension sector. What is the current GDP of Uganda? Just now, I'm just from a conference where the PS Ramadan Gobi mentioned that our current GDP as a country is $50 million US. But how then of course you would want to relate it with the per capita, the per capita to GDP, you know, or like how much every Ugandan contributes to that. And studies indicate that it is even below 1,000 US dollars. That's approximately 3.7 million shillings, implying that Ugandans, a single Ugandan cannot even exceed in a year 3.7 million. That's, you cannot even contribute to the country or you exceed 3.7 million in a year. So if you're talking about the pension sector, let's look at the country itself. Now, how about the people that are not tapped under NSSF? You would want to put them under the pension scheme, you know. So the challenges of the pension sector are wide. Yeah, and how I wish that if they're coming up with this objective of wanting to invest money in the pension fund so that it can grow, so that there is always money that's cashed out in gratuities and pension, then they should target the people that are not reaching. Because first of all, there are problems with Uganda itself. We do not have the money to contribute to the GDP, just like I've said. And then there is a problem of the money that is circulated. So which pension are you talking about? Which pension are you talking about? That where the government to get the money if Ugandans are not even
perhaps government has realized their problem. There's no money. That is why pensioners take long to receive their money. Yet the
but this is something that they should have thought of.
They're supposed to receive the money.
Even when the money is there, do those people get their money?
Exactly. We have issues of ghost pensioners. Some people, some corrupt people, they decide to leave ghost pensioners there. And then the right people who are supposed to receive this money do not receive it.
I have a friend of mine who is still grappling to get pension for his father.
Exactly. Who died. Yeah.
He even, there's one time I even saw him at the Prime Minister's office. The guy said, guys, you journalists who read these big men, can you talk to me? Can you talk to Madam Nabanja? Bring me close to Madam Nabanja. I put my complaint. I have suffered looking for my dad's pension up to date. I have not get that.
And that has reminded me of the fact that there was a petition to reduce the time for receiving pension to 55 years. But do we at least let them bring it to 40?
No, but I think this bill...
Oh, our lifespan, by 40, you're still vibrant. And
from the looks of this bill, I think it can address...
50 is not...
If there's money available, that is the biggest challenge, availability of money to cash out the gratuity and the pension. Money is available at NSSF. Yes.
NSSF invests. It has money. You cannot compare it with government.
Even this fund will invest. That is what they are looking at.
The only advantage with government is that if you deal with government in any way, there is assurance that you are going to get paid. The problem is that when are they going to pay you? That is the problem. It could take 15 years, 20, or even 5.
They are looking at monthly for pensioners to receive their money monthly if this bill is in place and passed.
Anyway, moving on from that, and as we anticipate from what the pension fund bill will be able to help Ugandans with, let's look at addressing the water problem. Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, together with Twaweza East Africa, have appealed to government to increase the budget of
Water issues have characteristics, two characteristics. One, when we have limited supply, it is a disaster to us. But at the same time, when we have a lot of it, especially in form of rainfall, rainwater, it is also becoming a disaster. Me as an environmentalist, I would like to report from what we are observing on the ground, that as we talk now, the communities have received enough rainwater and they feel that the rains should stop. As we talk now, it is very difficult to guarantee hygiene in most of our areas. Why? Because the water has become too much. It has led to the destruction of a lot of hygienic places, including toilets. But at the same time, the housing hygiene is also becoming a threat.
And if we recall very well, during COVID-19, that period we had pandemic. WASH was a key in fighting and defeating COVID-19, because without washing hands, without clean water, it was an issue. However, in some areas, people do not have clean water to use to wash their hands. So why now we advocate for, why do we advocate for more involvement in WASH activities? Suppose another pandemic broke out. Should it find us as unprepared as we were last time?
Talk about the urban water. We are focused on national water and sewerage corporation. And there is one key challenge that I have noted of recent. There are many districts where the water has been brought up to the center, but that water has not been extended to the last mile. The water is there standing, but a few users have been connected, and that is a challenge. It is a matter that we must be able to deal with.
Smart 24, driving business.
Oh, that's wonderful! And that is what champions do!
It's Football Madness with GOTV Season Eno. It's battle after battle on GOTV. All the Premier League
Space well, and scores
and Serie A games, La Liga and UEFA competitions, the biggest football competitions in the world, live. Get your Go code up for 39,000 shillings that comes with a full month on GOTV Plus to enjoy the Football Madness. GOTV Uganda. Love it.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda. Yeah, the taste of Uganda. The taste of Uganda.
Jovia. Ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agataziizibwa amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ageewala ennyo okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenze eyo ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo okutambula mu biseera n'okumanya buli kimu ekirina okumanyibwa Jovia kino kye kirabo kyange gy'oli
tewali kkomo ku ki ky'osobola okukola ku mukutu nnandameggwa ogwa MTN.
Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching Smart 24 TV and Business Today. Getting back to that story that just played before the break, the forum on Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, they have advocated for clean water in the country. They are worried now that we are in the rains, we are in the wet season, and the communities are wet. They are worried of the hygiene of the people. People do not like, but not only in the urban areas, also in the rural areas. Remember, people do not have they do not have proper drainage systems. The water is flooding everywhere, so they are worried of an outbreak, of a pandemic that can just break.
They are right to worry.
And they are calling upon government to take this matter seriously, because even during the dry seasons, people do not have access to clean water. We have all witnessed this, even in the urban areas. When water disappears, the water that comes out of the taps is sometimes it is not clean.
There's one area that I know where people are sharing their own pond with cows.
Yeah.
Cows come, drink from there, and also the community will come get water.
In Kampala?
Somewhere in the villages. So
yes.
Allocating a budget that will look forward to have clean water is also very important. But the question is, where is that money going to come from?
And you are talking about
has always having a lot of issues. You get every we have a lot of issues.
And the Ministry of Water is one of the ministries that gets a very little budget. Yet water is water is a very important thing. Legislators there were arguing during a pandemic. We know we all went to clean water, wash hands during Ebola, the Ebola period. Wash your hands. Where are people going to get the water to wash their hands and clean themselves properly to avoid getting sick? So they are saying, yes, they know the government does not have money. All stakeholders, everyone who is there, well-wishers, please, we need to address this system, this matter before another outbreak comes into the country.
Because I mean, cholera, Ebola, they are like other epidemics that never leave this country. Before you know it, in a year we get like 2 or 3.
Exactly.
Evidently. Yeah. And they are right to worry, but they are talking about now about the supplementary budget, because if they want any money, they would want it to go through a supplementary
you can
budget.
Prevent a problem before it happens. No, they are saying we can get a disease from this water that is now flood. We have floods everywhere. These floods, you don't know where the water is coming from. They are saying we can get another outbreak that will again cost us more money than what Ebola and COVID did.
So their call to government is to do what? To give them money to
do. No, like allocating more money and then put something. More boreholes, more taps in the villages. You get.
Drainage system. The drainage system should be addressed. In Kampala, we all know the drainage system is so bad. It is poor. People, you go to those arcades, the water, the floods, waste keeps flooding everywhere. Anything can just come out from that dirty water, and then it affects all of us.
That can cause health problems.
Exactly.
Well, but so I think let's just hope for government to respond. But
yeah,
I mean, health is wealth. But now looking at approaches for swift e-cooking uptake in Uganda, just 1.4% use electricity for cooking, and about 90% rely on open fires or inefficient stoves. That is per SNV's 2022 report. Now, at the recent Renewable Energy Conference, development partners including SNV, GIZ Uganda, and the Modern Energy Cooking Solutions teamed up with Ministry of Energy to launch the Energy Efficiency Accelerator Program. And I'm going to give you more details in regards to that. But this initiative aims to address gaps in clean cooking ecosystem, particularly focusing on affordability, as consumers, mainly from grassroots communities, express concerns about the left out communities. Now, we all know the transition to e-cooking, and I want us to listen to these voices before we can come back and give you more details in regards to that.
We come in one room so that we're able to see that impact, so that I do not duplicate what GZ is doing, what NS Accord is doing, and we start to say, where do we have the gap, so that I plug in the small resources that I have, and we start to see impacts, so that we do not address one battery at a particular time. But so that's why we launched the Energy Efficiency Accelerator Network, and it's actually now an opportunity for us to plug in the missing regulations and standards which are domesticated for e-cooking technologies in Uganda.
As some Ugandans strive to cleaner cooking energy, easing pressure in the environment, market players in direct contact with 80% target market emphasize the need for producers and development partners in clean cooking to consider their strategies.
So then the bigger percentage don't have access to them, therefore these approaches cannot be sustained. And then we are going to be talking about them, and yet the real answer, we are not touching it. So let's engage the final consumer and the rural communities on this. Actually, they should be the first people in the spotlight. And then their ideas are the ones that should be brought forth and guide the implementation or development of approaches or energy saving, whatever, that can meet their demand.
In December 2021, the Electricity Regulatory Authority unveiled a no-tariff plan to notably cut electricity bills for both industrial and domestic cooking. Umami is currently rolling out an initiative focused on promoting clean cooking. This effort involves evaluating, monitoring, and researching the behavioral aspects of electricity cooking to encourage the 1.8 million existing customers to transition to electric cooking.
Why is Umami structured or in a position to do that? We support about 1.8 million customers who definitely use electricity. So if we are talking about cooking with electricity, those would be customers for the grid. And you definitely then have their contacts and details.
Yet, as per Modern Energy Services research lead for Uganda, the local market is successfully embracing electric appliances for cleaner cooking. However, the challenge lies in improving awareness and facilitating access to finance for enhanced affordability.
MEX is trying to support the government and also key players in the sector on accessing carbon financing to bring down those upfront costs of e-cooking appliances. So I think now is a really exciting time, and the enabling environment is strong. Consumer awareness needs to be increased, but there's a lot of great work with UNAC on that as well. And the supply chain is where now there needs to be efforts towards strengthening the supply chain and getting more e-cooking appliances to the people.
The event, organized by MEX and UNAC, and the Exhibitor of the Year award on the conference's final day.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it in regards to energy efficiency, advancement, and clean cooking. So maybe to just give you a summary of what the story was about, development partners in the ecosystem of clean cooking, including SNV, GIZ, and Modern Cooking Solutions, partnered up with Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to launch a program called Energy Efficiency Accelerator Program. This program is just meant to help them bridge the gaps. Since these are development partners that are playing in the same ecosystem, they do not want to duplicate what other people are doing or what they themselves are doing. So what are they targeting? just like MEX and the research has informed us, is that Uganda as a market has proved to be very attractive for other people to come and invest in, especially clean cooking. But we already know that in the whole country, only 1.4% are using electricity for cooking, and 90% they're using other inefficient, burning down cutting down trees. Yeah, they use charcoal and the like. So of course that is evident. They talk about it on every conference, renewable energy. But what are they saying? I wish you listen more to that lady that has interacted, because she's a market player and she deals with the communities where these EPCs are sold. And she's like, you people, you are talking to yourselves. This is not what it should be. Because we've interacted with the communities and they tell us there is access to finance is the biggest challenge to afford these electric pressure cookers. 250 for if you tell a person that they should pay 250,000, that it's going to cost them about 5,500 shillings to cook beans, something that would cost them about 90,000 to buy a sack of charcoal, that would last them about 3 weeks. They would not get it. All in all, there is need to increase awareness in regards to the ecosystem, and then also improve access to finance for affordability.
Even mindset change. You should also look at that. People think using charcoal is much cheaper than using those equipments. You know that? And I think if sometimes they think it's too expensive. And I always say that you can buy those equipments, those pressure cookers, you can buy it expensive today. But in the long run, you keep using it, it will be cheap for you.
Now let me tell you another problem.
So the mindset change.
Yes.
They think charcoal is far better than those things, but for sure, it's not.
Now there is access to electricity. These EPCs use electricity. What is the current coverage of electricity currently in the country? About 22.1%.
That's also another thing.
Of course, we are hoping that by the electricity access scale-up project that I've already told you many times about, we'll be able to scale up to a percentage close to 80%. But these are villages, remember. They are the ones that are cutting down. And the problem is that these people are relying so much here in town, yet the biggest market they have is in the villages.
Do you know that even
and the market
urban
women
areas here, they're using charcoal, even when they have electricity?
Especially marketplaces.
Did you know?
They can't afford, because they can't afford.
Mindset.
Ugandans, we as Ugandans, of course, we welcome all the innovations, investing, all the investors we welcome. But they should be mindful of the population in Uganda and their affordability. Like, how can people afford these things, first of all?
We are talking about demystifying cooking with electricity in Uganda.
I know. How many Ugandans have electricity? Do you know there are some villages that do not have electricity?
We would like to commend at least the government. There is an electricity cooking tariff. And that is where the problem is whenever they talk about awareness, because I don't think many Ugandans know about it. But there is a cooking tariff made. It was introduced by ERA in 2021. And concurrently, UMEME too is working on a pilot to monitor, evaluate, and look at the behavior change of those using e-cooking and see where they can help them. So there are strides. What I've learned about the Ugandan market and how policies work is that research could potentially take forever. And they always want to make decisions based on research. So there is work being done in that aspect. The only problem is that I want them, as the work is being done, they should move together with the communities where they would want to target. That's the only way it will be successful. Yeah. But in regards to the same story, and we have a story in regards to that very story, in line with it actually, and we are looking at energy efficiency advancement. Now, Uganda's transport sector emissions are a major public health threat, evidently, causing non-communicable diseases and putting a huge strain on the health budget. In a move to reduce emissions, UNDP Uganda and GIZ, again, they have launched the first electric car, a major step towards a transition to a cleaner energy future. Let's have a look.
Electric vehicles produce zero emissions, so they can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector. This is important for addressing climate change, which is a major threat to sustainable development. UNDP and GIZ therefore launched their first electric car, a major step forward for its transition to clean energy future. Dr. Pete Lucaris, the Minister of State for Minerals, together with the PS of Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, and Ms. Irene Batebe, the Permanent Secretary from the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, joined the group in unveiling their first electric vehicles.
We have come to do one of the very many development goals, one of which we are trying to turn away from the use of fuels to a use of energy sources which are clean. Using the fossil fuels has been found to be with a lot of carbon. The carbon dioxide is emitted in the air and it has effect on the ozone layer.
What does this mean to us? First of all, I think launching this e-vehicle is not just launching a vehicle. It's a development issue. It sits within our broad framework of our support to energy for development, which we have been doing on a number of things, whether in solarization of health centers, solarization of institutions like schools, supporting legal and policy issues around energy, including social tariffs. But importantly, I think we know the challenge. One of the most compelling development challenges of all times is climate change. And climate change is caused by emissions. And we know transport is one of those areas that causes a lot of climate change.
The keynote speech by Ruth Nakabra, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, represented by Peter Lucaris, the Minister of State for Minerals, energy efficiency is paramount and that it offers benefits like cost reduction, reduced dependence on imported energy, and environmental preservation, as well as decarbonization processes.
So in order to decarbonize the world, they are now turning to what a transition. The transition that has been discovered is using cleaner sources of energy. That is, we are trying now to get energy through other sources other than oil. And these energies are derived from doing the processing of mineral resources which are critical to energy, the lithium and so on. So now we are making batteries for supply of energy to drive cars like this one, for use in the hospitals, for use in everything else, cleaner energies only, solar and so on. So decarbonization is what is meant so that the world becomes clean.
Well, I think Uganda is making, as one of those countries in Africa and the world that is making great advancement towards its sustainable development goals, particularly in relation to energy efficiency. In fact, this country, 95% is renewables. We just need to make sure that people use the electricity we have, and therefore, how do we provide, like I said, incentives to them through social tariffs? The government has a new energy policy. There's a new energy bill in the pipeline, and many other things that are doing. I think today's meeting and this week's event on energy and renewable energy and energy efficiency and e-mobility is a statement by the government, and ours is to support the vision of the government.
Amidst rising energy costs and shortages, energy efficiency emerges as the only solution for sustainable future and reduced environmental impact. Electric vehicles presents a cost-effective and co-friendly alternatives. Pedson Mumbere.
So, these are some of the stories that we are making. These are some of the stories that look at environmental conservation. Electric cars produce zero emissions, you get it?
Yeah.
So they can help reduce, of course, greenhouse gas emissions from the transport sector. But now the thing is the adoption now. That's where the problem is. Everybody, every stakeholder, especially the minister, was also saying that it's paramount for Ugandans to start getting these electric cars. You get it? But the thing is about the costs. Most of them are too expensive. Another problem is the charging systems. We don't have charging systems everywhere. You get it?
Where do they charge them from?
You can charge from home. You can use just your own whatever you charge, like the way you charge your phone from home. You get it? But now in the roadsides, there should be what? Charging systems. Like for example, if you can move from here up to Kasese, you get it? There must be charging systems somewhere.
Petrol stations. I don't think
No, not petrol station. Electricity charging points. I'm sure that car could, because most of the electric cars that I know, they go kilometers from 300 to 350 kilometers. And I was just sharing with you before we even called the story that in streets like London, you cannot just go there with your petrol car. It is impossible. You cannot be allowed to drive there. Yeah. Even hybrid, they are trying to phase them out. So electric cars, especially for developing cities like London and the rest, they think, I mean, it's normal. Just like how here everyone is buying a car, but it is not electric. So the challenge, of course, that would come with that. Me, I have one question to ask. Yes, we're in the energy transition. We want to cut down the greenhouse gas emissions, and maybe perhaps it's because of what is happening, especially in the Albertine. We have started developing oil and gas resources, so we don't want pressure from the Western countries. Yes, but we are not yet on the level of affordability.
But we are trying now. We're starting the road.
How much is that? You want to know how much is that car?
I've launched. It is just as expensive as other cars.
But you're not telling me the amount. I want to know the amount of
that car is expensive, my dear. An electric car.
Don't just say expensive.
It is comfortable. It is good.
The viewers want to know.
You could even go in billions.
In terms of numbers, where do you place it?
As in
200, 300?
300 what?
Million.
We are talking about money. So that we know which Ugandans can afford.
Affordability, in what class?
In what class?
Opedson didn't ask that question.
I know. This is what I want to put across.
He didn't ask.
Any person who is capable of buying a petrol car has the same ability to buy this car.
Is that what they told you?
Yes. If you have a car, you drive yourself.
Should have asked the money.
You drive yourself. If you bought your car, you also have the same ability.
That's why she's asking.
This one.
You should have asked the amount. We want to know. We want to know where we fall.
How much is your car?
Mine is very cheap.
Shift the focus. Shift your focus to the question of the matter.
That's why we still have a lot to do. Mindset. Rona, if you can buy your Pajero, you're driving it.
You guys buying a car in Uganda.
I won't be convinced about buying it if I've not seen like 50 petrol charging stations in the city alone.
You know,
why would I? Tell me, why would I make such a stupid decision? It's actually economically it's wrong. It doesn't make any business sense for me to buy an electric car if I'm not sure about a charging station. I know Total Energies also has a car. It recently launched a car of this same type. They even showed us the charging point, how it charges, how many kilometers it can go. Good initiative, marvelous, wonderful. Everyone would want it, but let's be feasible. Let it be feasible in the current ecosystem of the energy uptake.
We are starting slowly by slowly. Where we are so far, it's not bad. You get it? So let us embrace it.
You're talking about cars that are not going to be bought by Ugandans. No more Ugandans. I'm talking about no more Ugandans. Not these people, the big wigs of this country. Those are the people going to be
maybe just to wrap up this discussion, I would like to commend the whole Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Yeah. I think they have tried in all aspects to be on the scene. Or is it because we just give them so much publicity? I don't know. But most of the innovations are wonderful coming from them. I mean, partnerships, development partners, and I think that's what has even made people so attracted in the country, so that they can come on and keep investing. And
I'm telling you, those cars are comfortable. They are good.
You have entered one?
Noise. Yes. No noise. In fact, my first car is going to be that one.
No, Peterson, call for us the second story. We wrap this conversation up. Our time is well spent.
First talk about that story. That's the story for. I want you to buy that car.
Move on.
Okay, the East African Women in Business platform, in partnership with GIZ, has conducted a capacity building workshop for Ugandan women entrepreneurs on AFCT trade in protocol. So all these efforts are looking forward to spearheading all the making those women entrepreneurs in the country. They want them to get involved in the African free trade whatever area. You get AFCTA. We now understand East African community, but we haven't understood the trade in around Africa as a whole. So they want these women to start learning this. So that's the reason of that trend. But let's first have a look at this story and come back.
It's been observed that women entrepreneurs in Uganda need skills development and capacity building in technical standard requirements such as certification, including inter alia hazard analysis, critical protocol points, branding, labeling, and packaging to harness new export opportunities through the African Continent Free Trade Area. The East African Women in Business Platform, in partnership with GIZ, will now conduct 2 days workshop to underscore the role of women entrepreneurs in spearheading their efforts to take advantage of the opportunities in the African Continent Free Trade Area, which most of them seem to be unaware of.
Our main objective actually is to create awareness of the Uganda women traders on how they can use Africa Continental Free Trade Area trading instrument in order to be able to export in the Africa single market for goods and services. But also we are encouraging or we are promoting Uganda women to be able to use the Africa Continental Free Trade Area trading instrument in terms of importing from Africa countries which are member of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
The agreement establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area entered into force at the end of May 2019, for the 24 countries had ratified the agreement. The AFCTA is projected to raise Africa's income by 7%, lift 30 million out of extreme poverty, and 68 million out of moderate poverty by 2035. It is also projected to boost intra-African trade by 52.3% when import duties and non-tariff barriers are limited, though there are several challenges and opportunities that Uganda needs to address to harness the potential of the AFCTA.
Interesting, EAC partner states have taken this very seriously. We have seen, for example, under Guided Trade Initiative and Africa Continental Free Trade Area, already some EAC partner states have started trading. We have Rwanda, which has already started trading products such as tea. We have Tanzania, which has already started trading. We have Kenya, which has also started trading under Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So you can see 3 EAC partner states have already actually export their product in West Africa, for example, in Ghana and in North Africa, Algeria, and Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So EAC is doing very well. And even if you are not a member of the Guided Trade Initiative, still you can trade as EAC, because already EAC tariff offer has already been gazetted and has already been accepted by Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. And this gives you a legal instrument to be able to start trading. So Uganda can start trading in terms of exporting their products and Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Despite the operationalization of the AFCTA and the active involvement of governments in the negotiation processes, the women consulted today had limited or no knowledge about AFCTA potential benefits and how it impacts their trade activities. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
That's the Africa Free Trade Area that is projected to raise Africa's income by 7%, and also they also want women to get involved in the African Free Trade Area that is there.
You're talking, you are seated with women. So
I'm seated with women, and I know you Ugandan women entrepreneurs, please take advantage of Africa Free Trade Area. You can trade with Ghana, you can trade with Nigeria, you can trade with another country in Africa.
So under what program?
That's what it's I've just said Africa Free Trade Area, you get it? So all that training, you've seen those women who are there, they were trying to be taught how they can take advantage of this.
Interesting, and I think we've come to the end of our show today. Thank you so much for having been a good audience, and I know that that story is inclined to the fact that there has been an uptake of women entrepreneurs. I think we have seen PSFU do lots of training. The women entrepreneurs on the Ugandan market right now are even below tenfold than men. They multiply 10 times more than men. So I mean, commendable effort, and they deserve it. And I hope that they take advantage of those opportunities. But like I said, we've come to the end of our business show today. Please be sure to tune in again on Friday. We have more in regards to the recently concluded African Association of Airlines. I have a story in regards to that, and I have a story in regards to the Uganda International Oil and Gas Summit, and I believe Pedson does have a story from Uganda Development Bank, and Hanifa will be bringing us more details to where she usually covers from. Thank you so much, and good evening.